Greetings, South Carolina educators. My name is Rodney Evans, Education Associate here in the Office of Educator Effectiveness and Leadership Development. I will now cover Trainer Presentation Overview Number 5, SCTS 4.0 Evaluator Training, Day 2, Slides 1 through 20. As a trainer, you should open up Day 2 with reflections from Day 1. You should share a few of these reflections and talk about how what you will be doing on Day 2 will address these specific areas. The next slide covers the agenda for the day. We recommend using chart paper to show the big chunks instead of reading the detailed agenda. As a trainer, you have the option to choose between the Windows and Mirrors activity and the Which activity. Both of these activities are open discussions to begin the training day. As a whole group, you can have participants share out and chart their responses on a T-chart. This next slide is an activity where the participants will answer the following question. What do we need to consider when supporting teachers between evaluations? Participants will reflect back on the post-conference from the prior day for Mr. Campbell. The next slide is a 9-minute video. Here, the trainer will point out how well does this coach know the teacher she is coaching, how does she plan to build the teacher's leadership skills, and how will her next steps impact student growth. This next slide is the cause and effect learning model. As an observer, you should understand that there is a direct cause and effect relationship between what the teacher says and does and what the students say and do. These are all linked to the learner outcomes, and all this evidence is captured at the beginning, middle, and end of the lesson. On this slide, participants will focus on observing and collecting evidence. Your participants will watch a portion of a 7th grade science lesson and also a 6th grade science lesson. We ask that you encourage your participants to script while watching the lesson. Half of the table will capture what the teacher says and does and any visuals used in the room. The other half of the table will capture what the students say and do. Prior to the second video, teams will switch scripting roles. All this information will be collected for an upcoming activity later in the day. This next slide covers categorizing the evidence. Participants can create a 2-column chart and record teacher on the first column, then record the student evidence on the second column. As a trainer, you can have participants to discuss the evidence they collected for instruction rubric, standards and objectives, and motivating students. These indicators can be recorded on table tents or sticky notes and placed on a table. Slide number 13. On this slide, participants will watch and script an 8-minute clip of a middle school science lesson. This would be similar to what they may encounter in a walkthrough. While watching the 6th grade science video clip, participants will be scripting roles. They will switch scripting roles and half of the table will only capture what the teacher says and does and any visuals used in the classroom. The other half of the table will capture what the students say and do. This information will be collected for the next upcoming activity. Participants will now watch a 6th grade science clip. Participants will switch scripting roles. The length of this video is 3 minutes. After watching the video, you will take 10 minutes for table groups to chart the evidence for the 2 indicators using this chart. Now, as a table group, your participants will categorize the evidence. Next, they will share the evidence collected. You can also direct your participants to workbook page 31 as a resource. Next is a quote from Rick DeFore. that you can share with your participants. And that will conclude slides 1 through 20.